Good? All right. Robert Miller.
That's me.
Stuntman, actor, fitness model, now TACFIT Team Leader, head coach here at TACFIT LA.
Yeah. Been quite a journey, man. Jeez. It's unbelievable how everything came around. I remember when I first started doing jiu-jitsu, it was probably like 2004. And I was doing a lot of bodybuilding.
2004?
Yeah.
14?
2004.
4.
Yeah.
Wow.
Long time. Yeah, I had a hiatus when I moved out to LA. I didn't train for
Okay.
3 or 4 years, financial, couldn't find a school. Wasn't sure where I was going to settle down. But I got into it because I was doing a lot of bodybuilding, and I never wrestled in high school. I played basketball my whole life, but I was a big, strong guy at about 185 pounds, and I challenged this world champion black belt who was about $150 and a good friend of mine today, and to a death match.
150 pounds?
Yeah, he's about 150
Phil?
pounds. No. T.
Oh, T. Okay.
T, yeah.
Like, that would have been, must have been like 10 years old.
Yeah, Phil's a big guy. So yeah, we met after work. We went to the school for our quote unquote death match, and man, he just mopped the floor with me, and I didn't have an answer for anything that he was doing, and I was just like, what
Shows
is
you
this?
the power of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I was like, what is this voodoo nonsense going on? Like, how is this little guy just controlling me, choking me, breaking my arms? Like every minute he was just wrecking me. And after about 15 minutes, I was like, all right, well, that's that. I guess I started doing privates with him. And I moved out to LA in 2010 to really pursue a stunt career. Acting came as a byproduct of all of that. And I found you in, I think it was 2013. I started training here at the school.
Yeah, we started Legacy in 2011.
So, again, I trained here for about a good year, and then finances, happened, and I had to stop. And then I think it was 2016. I asked you if you wanted some strength and conditioning coaches, and you told me.
You want CrossFit?
Yeah.
But you were down. You're like, all right, I'll get CrossFit certified, I guess.
Like, all right, if that's what I got to do.
I mean, that's, I didn't know what, I knew I wanted to have some kind of functional training and I wanted to do TACFIT, but, there was no place to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And then luckily, I finally went to the TACFIT certification.
About a week prior to my CrossFit certification, you called me up and said, hey, can you come over so we could talk? And I was like, oh, man, this is never good when someone wants to talk to you. And I was like, crap. And you were like, I want to do TACFIT. I had no idea what it was. I was like, all right, what's TACFIT all about? What is this? And then, I was skeptical.
Right. We didn't know.
I didn't know,
Could be the same thing as CrossFit, right?
Yeah, being a bodybuilder, and then you showed me these club bells, and, again, I was skeptical because 45 pounds. I'm like, what am I going to do with 45 pounds? How is this? And then he showed me some moves, and we started following Scott.
Then
and
he
all
started looking at the videos and his instructionals.
Man, and it changed. It changed everything in my body. My jiu-jitsu went from being like strong man, moving very little bit and using all my strength and being just drained afterwards to, fast forward to today where I'm just more aware
we call you also Buff Rob. Now it's Coach Buff Rob.
Coach
right?
Buff Rob, the official
Buff Rob.
The official coach.
But
Buff
man,
Rob.
I remember when you came in and you were like you're buff, right? But you used to bodybuild, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, you were strong, but you couldn't really move that well.
No, not at all.
And after us doing TACFIT for I don't know, like maybe even 3-4 months, I started to kind of see the change.
Mm-hmm.
And from just even your jiu-jitsu got better.
Right. Yeah, and it feels better.
Moving better, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, it feels so much better because I remember after I would train, I would go home and I would just be like, just wrecked to where I'm like falling asleep in the chair from just dumping all those chemicals into my body from force and everything and not being able to move. And it's just made a better connection in my brain, my body. Everything's moving better. And it's just crazy how everything comes about. Like, I moved out here to be stunts. I was fortunate enough to do some stunts, take some falls, get lit on fire. There's all kind of stuff. But passionately, I've always enjoyed exercise. Yeah. And I've always known that the more your body moves, the better and healthier you're going to be.
What's your fitness like? What you I mean, I know you used to bodybuild, and what are some of the things that you did?
Well, like I said, I grew up playing basketball from the time I was 6 until I was 18. You know, I set a lot of school records and was really good at that sport. And then after high school, you know, I just started doing, you know, not much. I was in college.
Was your grandfather, your dad, your grandfather?
Everybody,
right?
my whole family.
Your grandfather was like a.
My grandfather on my mom's side was a crazy athlete. You know, he had 5 scholarships in 5 different sports.
Okay.
And I mean like not just track and field. I mean like track and field, football, baseball, diving, boxing. Okay. Like it was everything combined. And
what was his name?
Joe McIntyre. They used to call him Joe Mac.
Buff Joe.
Buff Joe. Yeah.
Buff Joe Mac.
Buff Joe Mac. Yeah. And
so you got some of those genes, huh?
Yeah, thank God I got some of those genes. Yeah. And my dad's side of the family, we played a lot of basketball, so I got a lot of the agility from that. But you know, with the bodybuilding, you know, you kind of lose that range of motion and that freeness to move. So I'm glad that the TACFIT came into my life. It's changed my life. It changed the people that I teach, and I see it even with older people that maybe haven't worked out in quite some time. They're saying, I'm starting to feel less imprisoned in myself. They say they feel like the knots are unwinding. So that's really the biggest reward.
I mean, it's we get to see that every day, but you know, it's just every month we see, you know, people transform their lives through, you know, and we're all training together, like, you know, top athletes with you know, people from the couch that are in their 60s getting in really good shape, transforming themselves.
I mean, we got you, ex-UFC fighter, you know, bad Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, training with
broken.
You know, broken. Yeah, you were broken. Yeah, when we met, you know, push-ups on your wrists for years and all the circular training.
Couldn't move.
Couldn't move. I mean, you could in jiu-jitsu, but like throughout life, you know, you couldn't put your seatbelt on, you know. Right. And then I see these older people, not that, you know, but they're moving better. They're breathing better. Yeah. They're happier with themselves because they don't in pain every day. And I really wanted to like try to reach out to the stunt community, man, because they take such a beating, you know, day in and day out, and our bodies and ourselves remember all of that, whether it's, you know, trauma that's happening on accident, and even if you're prepared for it,
or you're getting paid for it,
right? Or if you're getting paid for it,
getting put on fire.
Yeah, I mean, like that's
what's your Instagram? Fire
burn Bob.
Burn Bob.
Yeah, Fire Burn Bob. Yeah, so you can check that out. Some good stuff on there. Yeah, but you know, every time you fall down, you gotta pick yourself back up, and you gotta heal your body and open it back up. So it's an incredible system.
Yeah. What are some of the things that have happened to you and stunt work?
Stunt work wise, fortunately, nothing too much. I do a lot of precision driving, so I'm in the car a lot. But even that, when you're taking G's and like having the G-force from the car, you know, and I was talking to another friend of mine. He's like, "Oh, my hip is killing me," and he was doing a lot of 2-wheel driving, and it was his left hip. And I was like, "Well, maybe you should like engage your glute on that side so you have support in the hip instead of relying on your foot or the hip bones to do all the job." And he was like, he started doing that and having more connection, and he was like, "Yeah, it goes away, you know." So the muscle activation is what you need to support the frame of the body. So.
What are some of the injuries or, you know, the crazy things you've seen people or occur, I guess, in stunt work?
Well, I mean, every day you could see something in the news. You know, there was a girl that, man, she has an amputation from a stunt, working on I can't remember the name of the film right now, but man, things go wrong all the time.
Yeah, we've had students here, right? Like, you know, stuntmen that have been in the game for a long time.
Right.
And we've seen them transform themselves, like feel better.
Right.
Vi was doing a lot of stunt work, right?
She still does.
She still does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she feels better. She's moving better, and
she can recover better.
She can recover better because, man, those are long days on set. You're there 12 hours. You know, you're filming fight scenes or taking a hit every. Yeah. You gotta understand how your body's going to react to that. So, connecting the breathing and the brain together. But for myself, what was it? 3 years ago, I was in a motorcycle accident.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and my
right before we did the Club Bell certification.
Yeah, it was 2016.
It was like a couple weeks, huh?
A couple weeks before that.
Yeah.
And my palm was swollen so much that I couldn't touch a barbell.
That was some. I mean, if you weren't a ninja,
yeah, it was gnarly.
I mean,
man.
like the footage that you like, basically, you want to tell the story?
Sure, yeah. I basically this guy just cut me off in my lane, and then a pedestrian was walking across the street, and he slammed on his brakes in front of me. So I did everything, out of instinct, and just jammed on my brakes, and the bike went down, and I went flying off. And I remember going like underneath
Everything slow motion, right?
in his bumper, yeah, and it was all in slow motion. And I had a complete thought like, oh man, I just crashed my motorcycle. This is great. And rolled out underneath the car, came up to the driver's side, and yeah, I mean, I broke my pinky, left palm, or my right palm was all swollen, so I couldn't.
Because you put your hand on the asphalt,
yeah, I reached out, and that was the thing that stopped most of the impact. I mean, thankfully, I was doing some TACFIT at the time,
right?
And I had more body awareness,
and
I was
learning
learning things, and yeah, my hand took the abuse, and I couldn't touch a barbell anymore. I don't think I did any bench pressing for, I don't know, 2 years. 2.5 years, maybe.
Yeah, almost 3 years, right?
Yeah, it was about 3 years.
Doing the program for like 4 years.
And, usually when you don't do it, your strength goes away. But I was able to stay with the TACFIT, and I was able to have a better connection.
Moving clubbells and body weights.
Just moving clubbells, body weight, breathing, turning everything on, understanding where your structure is strong. And I went back to the bench press after 3 years of not doing it, and I didn't lose any strength. I was shocked. I was like, that's intense. That was intense. So, yeah, it's been a crazy journey, man. Just coming from Philadelphia, moving out here, not really knowing where you're going to go, meeting you, giving you a call out of the blue, something just was like, hey, why don't you just call Professor Crane and see if he needs anyone to help strength train
at the right time, right?
Yeah,
it's crazy, right? Yeah.
It's nuts, man.
And now it's like 4 years later, we're like all in TACFIT,
going everywhere.
The best guy we could have asked to be like our TACFIT coach here.
Yeah, they say everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
We're all put here for a reason. I thought I was moving out here to do stunts, but hey, I'm happy. This is
meaningful work, right?
So much more rewarding than anything I could do on film, because there's nothing better than when you get a message from someone and goes, I've had pain in my elbow or my nerves. I've been aching for 3 years, and I woke up and I don't remember when it stopped, but I'm no longer in pain. And to me, helping someone live a better life, better quality of life is better than any paycheck you can get.
It's priceless.
Yeah, it's priceless. And now,
meaningful.
Yeah. We just got back from Mexico. We were just down there.
Mexico City.
Yeah, a little TACFIT cert down there.
Mexico City,
yeah. Yeah, it's going to bring us all over the world.
Yeah.
It's going to
How was that? How was that experience?
First time in Mexico. It was it was interesting. I was a little nervous because I saw the revolution with El Chapo and
his son, right?
His son, they were breaking his son out. I was like, man, we're going there next week. I'm like, is that really a good idea right now? But we did, and
Tona, the TACFIT Mexico director. And,
awesome guy. I love that guy. He's got such a good spirit, and he really lifts up his students and
team leaders, and he's a leader for sure. He's doing a great job there.
Yeah. They were all so prepared.
Yeah,
I was blown out of the water, because usually when you go into these certs,
right.
it's tough to prep for this kind of stuff. But he did a great job. Yeah, it was incredible.
You have some good coaches, good team leaders around the country now.
Yeah.
So,
it's coming together.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. Going to Mexico City with Buff Rob. He almost missed the flight on the way back.
Yeah. That was a miserable flight on the way home. I'm still recovering from that. There's nothing worse than sitting on a plane for 2 hours wondering when you're going to leave, right? Yeah. Just not fun. Yeah. So, I've been physical my whole life. But what I really like about this system, the TACFIT system, is all the science that comes with it, all the neuroscience that we study. What happens when we go into our high heartbeats? How do we remain calm during controlled stress?
Getting the heart rate down.
To me, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. The more things I study, the more neuroscience and all these things I study, it really blows me.
Yeah,
blows my mind, really, how much brain Scott has put into every detail, every part.
Yeah,
one sentence or one paragraph, I don't know, Took him like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many years
right?
to write. Yeah.
Who was that guy? We were down there with Ben, right? Pelton.
Benjamin does the
He's,
Wim Hof certified coach.
Right, certified Wim Hof coach. And 3 years ago, I think he tested for the certification for TACFIT, and we gave him the manual, and all the information is in there. And he was doing the Wim Hof.
Right, Benjamin Pelton.
Yeah,
from Florida.
And then he said to me the other day, he goes, "Yeah, I was reading this manual again." And he was like, "Man, everything that Wim Hof taught me was right here in front of me the whole time. He just
in one of the pages, right?
Yeah, in one of the pages." And I was like, "Yeah, it's you don't understand it until you get into it and do it.
Right.
You could read all the books,
Right.
but you have to physically.
The depth is so crazy.
It is.
It's not just movement, but all the whys and just the amount of brain and science and everything that's been put into it is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went to the fascia conference in Berlin, was it last year? Last November. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Just, I mean, you had all these crazy scientists and, Nobel, potential Nobel Prize winners, right? Talking and they're saying all these things. And I'm like, yeah, Scott's been saying these things for a lot of years. I mean, there wasn't the science and the technology to prove it, right? Back then when he was saying these things. So he took a lot of, heat, people calling him a quack and all that. But, man, he was he's a maverick. He was way before his time. And, it's stuff that is legit.
I think he still is. I still think he is above.
No, for sure.
Way beyond his time.
Sure.
Sure. Man, he just turned 50, didn't he? I think.
The youngest 50-year-old.
The youngest 50-year-old I know,
50 years old going on 25, right?
Right, yeah. It's awesome, man. He's such a good guy.
Yeah.
Did such a good thing, man. He's got such a good heart.
Yeah.
Yep.
So generous.
Right.
I mean, maybe that's part of the issue with TACFIT, right? He just gives everything away to everybody.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
I mean, because it helps. We want to help people.
Yeah.
This is what we want to do.
Yeah.
No matter what your sport is, there's always some residual downfall to the sport you're playing, whether it's jiu-jitsu or water polo or diving or gymnastics. You see all those injuries that always happen. And
I mean, he it's like 2007. So with me, I met Scott, Scott Son in 2007. And one of the main things was I got thrown on my head. Somebody took me down, and I got, I hurt my neck really, really bad. And he's like, yeah, move your neck like this, and they gave me some direction. And then he's like, and so I did it, and actually I got better within like a week. And I would have gone to the doctor. They probably give me some drugs, or I don't know. Who knows what they would have told me. But I did it. I trusted like my first jiu-jitsu coach. He was like a Navy SEAL, and he kind of introduced me to him. It had such an effect on me. I mean, we did a training protocol for one of my UFCs, and it had such a big effect. I never stopped thinking about it for like almost 10 years. And so, it took me that long to find to actually go to the certification. But once I did, I was like, okay, I get a second chance to do this. But man, it's that I could actually heal myself with movement, right?
Right.
Instead of, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just that's
some other surgery or drugs or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's the problem. People just if I wore a white lab coat and told you to do something, they would believe me a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But that's the issue with just everybody. They look at exercise like, oh, I don't want to do it. It's going to be hard. You're already defeating yourself. It's I look at it as my 1 hour a day to where I could focus on me. And I could do something that's going to make me feel better and give me more energy and move better, breathe better, hold myself upright better. And with all of that, it comes with more confidence. You're feeling better. You're sleeping better at night. And it's just brilliant, man. It really is.
Like obviously like I've been doing jiu-jitsu forever and it's been. Yeah, it's been a trip watching you, a guy like you, right? That can, do all these, he's super athletic but you were kind of locked up too, like you couldn't move, right? From whatever lifting so many years, and I don't know if you would have made, maybe you would have, but I don't think you would have made black belt.
I probably would have quit because there's been too many injuries, too much pain.
You would tell me you would be wrecked after training, right?
I would get home at like 1:30, and like by 1:40, I'm just like sleeping in the chair, going, you know, you go into those high stresses and all that adrenaline and cortisol dumps in your body, and it just has to shut you down. But yeah, like 3 years ago, I think it was 2017, I slightly tore my ACL during, you know, when I was rolling. Had my knee in a bad position, you know.
Happens.
And the guy put weight on it, and I just heard a loud pop, and thankfully it was only a partial tear. And I think that from doing the TACFIT and all the mobility, just getting
moving in all the different directions,
moving everything, get everything to open up and loosen up.
All the into flow and all the things that we do every day
saved it from being a complete tear. And man, I can't because that's you know, you got to have surgery, you got to repair it, you're out for 6 months, you know, and all that stuff. So
how's it now?
It's fine.
You feel like it's 100%? I
feel like it's 100%. I don't even think about it, so it has to be 100%. You know, if you're not, it's not in your mind, then it's got to be 100%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, yeah, it is crazy. But he's just onto something, you know. And even when I was in men's health, you know, I did men's health. I was a men's health model for, I don't know, like 14 years, you know. Even working with those guys, they would always have a trainer on set and, you know, teaching your form. And it still wasn't like, it was good because you had someone watching you and then you can get feedback into yourself, but it wasn't science-based. They didn't really provide much science about what's going on chemically as you exercise in the magazine. And now that I've been working with this system, it opens up your mind and it helps me train people better. Instead of always pushing into the red zone. You know, everyone thinks, oh, I got to be sweating, I got to be out of breath. It's not.
He shows you less is more.
It's not the right way.
And he proves it.
Yeah. That old high school coach going to you vomit, they say. You know, like, that's terrible. That's so bad for your body. You don't want to go to that range, you know?
I mean, we all used to do it, right?
Oh, yeah. But, you know, you just
as you get older, you're like, man, I can't keep this up.
You can't keep it up. You know, yeah. If you want to do anything that's that extreme, you got to remember you have a long life to live. Yeah. You know, you can't just destroy your bodies in your 20s and your 30s and expect it to be fine when you're 50 and 60, you know.
So you were in men's health for 14 years.
14 years.
14 years. It's interesting, right? Like TACFIT was, they called it like the smartest,
the
world's smartest workout, right?
Yeah.
So like we got the world's smartest workout with the guy I was in it for 14 years. What are the chances? And you called me right at the right time, right?
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. I don't know what hit me. I was just sitting there one day and I was like, oh, let me send Professor Crane a message and see if he needs any help at the school, because you know, I wasn't working full time. Fortunately, at the time, I was doing a lot of acting, so I had the money coming.
But
in.
you were saying, like you love like training, you love coaching.
I love it,
and that's what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, you'd like to do something else that's kind of more meaningful, or not that the stuff isn't meaningful for you, like it also, but
right. I mean, providing entertainment for people is great because we all need that kind of relief in our life. But making people move better, feel better, sleep better, live better. That's there's no better.
As we all know, and you know, here, like you're good at it.
Right. Yeah. I had a girl. She just messaged me yesterday. A woman that used to take our TACFIT classes. Maybe about a year ago. You know, she hasn't been around. I think she had a injury in her shoulder, but she's still back to exercising. You know, she's back into it. She's doing some like boot camp.
She moved? She moved somewhere, right?
She might have moved. Yeah.
I think she moved.
So she's doing some boot camp stuff, and she sent me a message. She just wanted to say thank you because I've made her more aware of how to move and exercise rather than just moving through it. She understands breathing. She understands structure better, and she feels better, even though, like, whatever she may be doing now, but whatever we were taught while she was here, it stuck with her. Yeah. And she was, you know, very thankful for that. And, like, to me, that message alone is worth more than any paycheck. You know, for someone to say, hey, I just want to say thank you because I'm feeling better. And, you know, she wasn't a young woman, you know, and if that just proves that it's for everybody, you know, you get the kids younger, you get them staying healthier, and like you instill that habit into their life, and that's going to carry all the way through.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, I love it. Like, I mean, Olympians, like world-class black belt, jiu-jitsu black belts, you know, young guys, right? And you have like those types of people. We all train in the same room. You know, it's perfect, right? Yeah, because of the progressions, we can all do the same kind of thing, but we can upshift and downshift.
Right. There's room for everybody to grow, no matter who you are. So it's been a trip. It really has, you know, and I'm looking forward to this upcoming year. I think we're doing a certification in January.
Yes.
Here in 2020 here in LA.
Scott Sonnen is coming, right? So we're doing a club ball strength certification, January 30th, 31st. February 1st and 2nd, we're doing our TACFIT certification. And then we have a lecture by our founder,
Mr. Brains.
Mr. Brains, Scott Sonnen.
Mr. Brains, Scott Sonnen.
I call him the GM, the Grandmaster. The Grandmaster.
Man, he's such a good guy.
I wasn't ready for him, man, when I first met him. I just didn't know what to think, you know, like he was showing me all these different movements. I'm like, what is he doing? I mean, I trusted my first jiu-jitsu coach, right? So he's the one who introduced me to him.
Sure.
But I was like, okay, how come I've had some top trainers, right? But we never did anything like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, tripods and all the different movements.
Right.
But like I said, you know, everything that he told me worked. You know, I got thrown on my head. So I never stopped thinking about it. And I'm so happy, man, that
it's the right thing. And then
we got it now in our gym, right? And then we got the world's smartest workout with men's health, calling it the world's smartest workout with Mr. Men's Health. Give me the big head, but you know,
right? Oh, well, you know, it is what it is. You know, I mean, call a horse a horse.
Oh man, we're lucky, man. We're lucky.
Yeah,
really
we are
blessed. We have so many good coaches here,
and
we're like really lucky to have you do this. You know, this
I'm just glad to do it, man. I'm just happy to do it, and I think we're going to Taiwan at the end of the next year, maybe to do something over there. Yeah. So
in Australia and.
Yeah,
things are opening up for sure.
Everybody needs it. And the best thing about it,
start building the team,
is that you don't need a gym. You don't even need a lot of space. I could do an entire workout on this table, probably.
It's knowledge, right? It's knowledge.
It's all about how you're moving.
You got to do the reps. You got to study.
And then last year, I think it was last year or maybe the year before, there was a guy in the Washington Redskins. You remember that?
Right.
He was on the sideline
for the NFL
doing the tripods, and people were like, "What's this guy doing? I don't understand." This big, huge linebacker was like doing the tripod movements and getting his body ready to go into, you know, nervous system's getting prepped, his breathing's getting prepped. He's
opening himself up,
opening everything up because he's going to go play a sport for the next hour, and he's got to make sure that his body can handle it. So, man, when you start to introduce new movements, everything lights up in your brain. And once you can unlock the old patterns and the old ways of your body being held and the way you sit and the way you carry yourself, you start to heal yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's undeniable that the body can heal itself. Because you get a cut, scar forms.
Yeah. I mean, Scott showed me, right? Showed me that I could heal myself with some movements. I was like, what? I can heal myself with some movements?
How can I do that?
Yeah.
You know? But of course, you know, we're not saying that if your bone is sticking out of your leg, that some movements are going to help that. No, you want to go see a surgeon, you know, if you have a severe traumatic injury.
Sure, of course. But a lot of the times
it's soft tissue or nerve damage or fascia being dried up.
You can heal yourself.
You can heal yourself.
Your body has the capability for sure.
Yeah. But it's not going to happen overnight. You have to make that commitment, and all you got to do is show up. Just like
we're going to think this is like an infomercial for TAC.
I know. Sorry. What else should we talk about? What do you think?
Let's talk about Philly. Let's talk about some. You worked at a bar. You tell me some. We get to share some crazy stories with me.
That was probably the best time of my life. Like I think we were there for 8 years. And
we were Reese brothers, right? Or
yeah.
Was it Phil?
That was Ricky.
Okay.
Ricky Migler-Reese, and my good buddy Dom. He was the owner of this bar, and basically our whole idea was just to provide a good time for people. You know, we had a VIP room, we had DJs, dance floor, great food, great service, great drinks, and of course, as you know, it's Philly. You start getting people drunk, there's going to be fights. You know, I remember one time, I think it was midnight. And I was off that night because we were doing brunch in the morning. So I was coming in for the morning shift. And the general manager calls me up, Carlo. Love this guy. He's a really good guy. And calls me up. He's like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, well, what do you think I'm doing? It's midnight. I'm about to ready to go to sleep. He goes, oh, well, on your way in, you got to stop at Home Depot. I'm like, stop at Home Depot? For what?
At midnight?
Yeah, no. Before I come into work the next day, he said, swing by Home Depot. I said, what am I getting at Home Depot? oh, you got to pick up some drywall. Ricky threw a guy down the stairs. He took a swing at him, and Ricky defended himself, and then he threw the guy downstairs, and his head went through the drywall. I was like, oh, Jesus. Seriously? All right, fine. I'll go get the drywall. And then it's all the Italian mafia guys. One guy told me he was going to stab me in my lung. They're very specific about, where they stab you.
The lung, he wanted to make sure you
Yeah, he wanted to make sure, not the kidney, not the appendix, but I'm going to get you right in the lung, I'll never forget it. It's like it happened yesterday. There was this one guy, I'm not going to put out any names, and we would let them hang out because, we let him do whatever he wants because he was insane. So instead of, riling him up, just appease him. So he passed on an unnatural way, as most criminals do. So, I shut everything down. I was like, I don't care who it is. No one's coming back anymore. So this little guy comes walking up to me. He starts to open up the velvet rope. And I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm friends with blah, blah, blah. And,
Joe Pesci looking guy.
Joe Pesci looking guy, yeah. He's like, I'm friends with him. And, we come in here all the time. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm here 6 days a week. I know everybody that comes in this place. And I said, well, unfortunately, with the passing of your friend, all of those privileges have been revoked. And he didn't like that. He didn't like it one bit. So he looked at me and he's like, I'm going to stab you in the lung. And I was like, all right.
That was the guy, huh? Joe Pesci.
Yeah, knock yourself out, man.
Joe Pesci from Philly.
Yeah. I'm like, go help yourself. See if you can get that through. But yeah, man, those were some crazy times. Like, just not even the fights. Like, even like Allen Iverson was shot at out on the street, and Philly's crazy, man.
It was down. Where was it? It was
downtown. It was what they call Center City. So at the time,
how far was it for where Rocky, the Mickey's gym was?
Maybe 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay.
Yeah. It's from South Philadelphia, right by the Italian market down there.
Okay.
The art museum was maybe another 5 minutes the other direction, so you can go up there and run around. We worked right behind the Liberty Bell. Like, Philly's cool like that, the first city. A lot of people don't know that's where Wall Street was originally. Oh, wow. That was where the first Wall Street happened. All the cobblestones. When you're walking down those streets, you got to remember, Ben Franklin walked down this street. These same cobblestones. They've been there for hundreds of years, 200 years, 300 years, whatever it is, the math.
I want to go down there with you one time when you go for Christmas time.
Yeah, come out, man. We'll train.
You give me a
get you a nice cheesesteak, So, yeah, that bar was nuts, man. It was fun though. It was so much fun, meeting the celebrities, taking care of everybody. Of course, there's fights. You got to jump over the bar and break up fights sometimes, and people always.
You were a bouncer.
No. I was a manager at the place, a manager and bartender. Yeah, I was the restaurant manager at the time. So you're there at night. You're still making sure the kitchen is producing the food. You're making sure all of that, but people are just starting to get a little tipsy, a little drunk, and of course emotions come out when you're drinking and. Next thing you know, those people are starting to throw down. There was this one night we used to host the Eagles parties. Dude, this was nuts.
And so you're from Philly, but
yeah, I was born up in Scranton.
Okay.
And every time I say that, people are like, "Oh, The Office." I'm like, "Yeah, it's great, but it's not really."
But you don't like the Eagles?
No, I can't stand the Eagles.
Okay.
I don't know why.
It's the team, the NFL.
I'm a Cowboys fan. Cowboys are the greatest team. All you Eagles fans.
I don't know how that works.
I don't care if this gets edited. I just want to say you guys won one Super Bowl, and that's all you're going to win. Be happy with it. So we hosted the Eagles parties. So all the players would come in on Sunday nights after the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, everybody.
Oh, wow.
I remember one year, I think it was, Michael Irving was on the team at the time, so it might have been 2006. And I bought like a styrofoam helmet, that you can hang on the wall, the Eagles. And I had my bouncer, my good buddy Jimmy, I made him. I said, every player that comes through this door is signing this. And I gave it to my dad as a Christmas present. So he has the entire 2006 squad, Donovan McNabb, every single player. So that was fun. But this one night we were there, and I'm in the back in the kitchen. I think I was counting out a waitress or signing a waitress out or getting some done, and I hear a lot of commotion going on. So I was like, all right, it's already after 2. They're probably just all, getting ready to leave. And then it just kept getting louder, and it kept escalating, and I had to come out to see what was going on. So I came walking out, and I see these same Italian guys are just pounding this dude in the corner. So I reach over the wall, and I drag this guy out of the chair. And this other guy comes running around and like sucker punches me in the face. And then he picks up this lamp and he starts swinging this lamp at me. And one of our other friends grabs him. And it was just like, man, it was just insanity at like 2:30 in the morning. You know, you got guys swinging lamps, people throwing punches at each other, chairs are getting thrown. And none of that changed. I came out here and I was the manager of a place down in Hollywood. And it was a Tuesday night. I'm in my workout, and I was the general manager of the place at this time, and I'm working out at the gym, and my bar manager calls me up. Hey, what are you doing? I said, none, I'm working out. He goes, oh, you got to come down to work. I said, why? He goes, someone just shot up the place. I said, no, really, dude, why? What's going on? You're starting to annoy me. Like, I'm in the middle of my workout here. I'm like, what do you want? He goes, oh, no, seriously. I'm like, it's Tuesday. There's probably like 4 people in the place. What do you mean someone shot up the place? I don't know. A guy came in. He asked for one of the owners. He said he wasn't here. The guy went behind the bar, knocked all the bottles and glasses off, knocked over our DJ booth, and as he was leaving the restaurant, pulled out a gun and shot 2 bullets down the hallway. One of them entered into the hall, and I was just like, I thought I got away from this nonsense. You know, if it's not one group of people, it's another that you got to deal with.
Now it's better. Now it's a little bit better, huh? Where you don't have that so much with training people.
No, not so much. You know, it's more controlled when we're fighting on the mats now. You know, I know that if I tap, the guy's going to let me go. He's not going to continue.
Most of the time, right?
Smash. Most of the time, yeah. You know, unless you're not friends with them or something like that. Unless it's Surge, then we don't pay attention to taps. I love you, Serge. S.B.com. Check out his photography. He's awesome.
Celebrity photographer,
yeah. Watch out for his toe guard. That's all he's got.
Nobody passes the toe
guard. No one passes the toe guard. So, yeah, Philly's fun, man. No one's ever been there. Try to visit in the spring. Winter's pretty miserable. Not going to lie to you.
Stay away Christmas time then, huh?
Yeah, try to stay away.
To go another time.
Yeah, maybe in the fall, springtime.
I can do it.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
I went to high school in New York.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Used to it.
It's just a little cold, you know.
Yeah.
It's all in your head anyways.
Yeah. Until you get frostbite.
Until you're like, wait a minute, why is my finger purple? Might want to go indoors.
Man, so you've been doing sports, your whole life. You've been, training your whole life. What have you ever had? What's the worst injury I guess you've had?
Well, fortunately, thank God, I've never broken a bone. Well, I broke this little pinky bone, but that's, not a big deal. The worst thing that I've ever felt was when I was playing a basketball game in this league a few years ago. And it was the stupidest thing. Like, I couldn't believe I injured myself doing this. All I simply did was dribble towards the basket, stop, take a little jump shot, and when I landed, my calf exploded.
Oh.
I ripped my calf muscle in half. And I thought it was my ACL. Like, I thought it was such a bad cramp. And it's still, even today, it's like
that
still
was the worst
split.
Injury you've had?
So far, yeah. I mean, no, that's probably not the worst.
Because you told me about your back.
The worst injury was my lower back. It was 2006. I was doing bodybuilding.
Right.
And I was doing a bunch of hanging knee raises, stopping my knees at 90 and pulling them back up to the chest. I must have did 4 sets of 25 or something. I'm not quite sure. And I got home, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm just kind of like, my back doesn't feel right. It feels a little stiff. I went to bed that night, and I woke up, and I thought I was paralyzed. Honestly, I literally had to roll myself out of bed.
You couldn't move anymore.
I couldn't move. I couldn't even stand up. For 8 weeks, I couldn't.
Wow.
For more than 20 minutes, I couldn't stand. So I was getting ready to go to this stunt training seminar in Seattle, and I guess it was probably 2006, 2007.
You were out here, or you were in?
I was in Philly still.
Philly still, okay.
But I was flying out to Seattle for a month. So I injured my back in March, and this was going to happen in July, I want to say. So I only had a few months to figure out what was going on with my back. Because we're going to be doing high falls. You're hitting an airbag from 50 feet in the air. That impact's going to hurt. You falling off a horse, traveling at 12, 15 miles an hour, whatever it may be, that impact's going to hurt. Especially if you have, and what it turned out to be was when I got an MRI, because I wanted to make sure what was going on, I have 2 bulging discs down in L4 and L5. So the only thing I knew to do was I just went to Bikram yoga for 6 months. And just let the heat
again, huh?
movement. Yeah, exactly. Back to the movement. a little bit of heat, a little bit of breathing. I didn't know any other way to do it. I didn't know. I wasn't going to go have surgery.
What did the doctor tell you? The doctor.
Well, he suggested that you have surgery. You know, they want to cut you. They want to scrape out whatever's bulging out of there and then sew you back up. And, you know, and I just didn't want to do that because I know as soon as you get cut, you're never the same. I don't care who you are. I don't care what doctors are going to tell you. As soon as you cut those cells and you cut that skin and you cut that tissue,
trauma,
it just won't be the same again. You might feel good. You can continue on with your sport, but you're more prone to being injured in that area again once they remove some of the natural tissue that is in your body. So I was always against it. I've never had a surgery. I've never been in the hospital. I've never been one that gets sick a lot, thankfully. But that injury, man, it was devastating. You know, like when you can't even stand up and you don't know what to do, it's
So you forgot about that, huh?
Yeah.
You're talking about your calf.
Yeah, I know. I'm like remembering, like it was so long ago.
You were on Joey Coco Diaz's podcast, and I think you talked about it.
I did talk about it then. Yeah, it was the worst, man. It was the worst. Like you can't sleep, you can't do anything. And when you're an athlete and you're used to being able to do like high level stuff, you know, like when you're able to move and you could jump and now I can't even stand for more than 20 minutes. Like it was miserable. And I never had a surgery for it. I never did anything. I just, you know, read books, did some hyperextensions, you know, Lou Simmons from West Side Barbell, you know, thank God he brought that out and making the understanding that everything heals with blood flow. And that's what I wanted to do was get more blood flow to that area. So if the blood isn't flowing in there, it's never going to heal. And if you don't move, then you're just going to be stagnant and you're going to continue to suffer in that same path. So when you introduce new movements, you know, your body can heal itself. Yeah. So
you're online with all that when we started doing all Scott's work, the TACFIT and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, it's been a great journey, man. I got a blessed life. I'm happy about it.
So I'm gonna switch directions, and you're an actor as well, and you went to India, Bollywood.
Yeah, Bollywood.
You're the classic, the token white guy.
Token white guy. Yeah, I was playing.
Tell me about that.
Well, India was.
Where'd you go in India?
Went to Mumbai. Bombay, but it was Mumbai then, and this was 2009. Was there for 12 days, and you know, I just want to say something like to all the actors out there and everybody chasing that dream down is that you never know where your job's going to lead. So this whole story started in Philadelphia. I was hired as an extra. They called it a featured extra, so I was hired for 9 days to work on this Bollywood movie as an FBI agent. After they wrapped up in Philadelphia, they wanted to go to New York. So they called me up and said, hey, we need you to come to New York. I was like, oh, that's cool. More money, more jobs, more time on the screen, fun. After that, a couple months went by. Hey, we need you to come to India so we could blow you up. I was like, oh, man, that's awesome.
India.
That was a flight direct from Trenton, New Jersey to India, 16 hours. It was a long, long flight. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do stunts there. They hired a stunt guy or my stunt double. Really good
double, huh?
Yeah, I had a stunt double. Yeah,
Rob had a stunt double.
Yeah. Spiro was the stunt coordinator on that film. But it was a year, 2008 is when they had like that terrorist strike, and they were. Remember?
2008.
2008. There was a terrorist. They came over through the gate of India and they lit up the Taj Mahal or the Taj Hotel. And that was all on fire.
The reason I remember that because Adita and I went. Was it last year? I don't know. 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. We went to India, and actually they talked about that story.
Oh, they did?
I think so.
There was a place called Leopold's Cafe.
I think it was the same one because I think they shut it down. They shut it down because of a pretty big terrorist thing. So what exactly happened in the?
So. I don't know.
The Gate of India, right?
They came through the Gate of India on these boats, and then they started lighting up.
They talked about it.
Yeah, they started lighting up the Taj Hotel there.
They came in on those little boats.
Yeah,
you know.
And then they just started
on the ocean,
shooting up around the city, going into the cafes.
The main hotel there, I forgot that it was like one of the nicer.
Yeah, I think it's called the Taj Hotel.
That's it. Taj Hotel.
So I was there a year after that. It was still some scorch marks, and I still remember like taking a photo, and the the security guy was like getting my attention, going like, no, you're not taking any more photos, because, they don't know where the photos are going to go. People use that as intel. And so we went to a place called Leopold's Cafe, and the owner there didn't fix any of the bullet holes. Like, they came in and they just started shooting everybody in the cafe. It's a terrible thing, man. Yeah. But
they went inside the hotel. They went in everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere, and just started shooting, man. It's terrible, terrible thing. So we were there, and like, he didn't fix it. And like, I remember sticking my finger in the wall, into a marble wall, and like my finger's going halfway in. That's where the bullets were. Like, they shot through all this stained glass. He put plexiglass around it, as a way to like preserve. And like, you can actually like get a feeling of like, man, if somebody was sitting here, you could see where that trauma is going to come. So I was there for 12 days. It was fun. It was great. We got to set, and the set was like in the jungle. And what they did was, when I say jungle, I mean literally. Like, the first thing they said was,
I was laughing. I was picturing you like the token white guy in the Bollywood movie.
Yeah, but I love nature.
I got it. What's the name of the movie that you did?
The name of the movie was Kurban.
Kurban.
Yeah, Kurbaan. And the two Indian actors was Saif Ali Khan and Kareena Kapoor. Were the two main actors there. So I was hired as an FBI agent. And one day in Philadelphia, we're filming at 30th Street Station. And, so I have my FBI gear on. I got my bulletproof vest. I'm all just kind of eyeballing people, whatever, And the real police were handing us our fake weapons and everything. And I'll never forget this. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. So our job was we were in the subway, we're in the train station, and we spot the guy we're looking for. So he sees us, and then we chase him through the train station, right? And we have our guns drawn out. So it's a live set. Like, they can't shut down 30th Street Station. Mm-hmm. It's just too big. So we're chasing this guy through the train station, scene after scene. And I'll never forget, before we did any of that, the police there, or Metro Police or whatever they're called, they were like, look, guys, this is a live set. And on these trains, U.S. Marshals ride these trains. So if for some reason,
wait, you guys are back in the U.S.
We're back. We're in Philly.
Okay,
yeah, we're in Philly at 30th Street Station, filming this scene of me.
It's the Indian movie, though.
Yeah, still Kurban. Okay. Yeah, same thing. So it was the plot of the movie was to blow up the subway system in New York. That was the plot of the movie. So that's why we're filming it in the U.S. Gotcha. The reason why we went to India is because it was cheaper to fly me and my actor, the other actor, to India than it was to blow something up here in the United States. Okay. So financially, it would make more sense to fly us out there and use their set. Mm-hmm. So the scene is that we chase this guy through 30th Street Station, and we corner him, right? And then he turns around, he detonates the bomb on him, and it blows up the station. So I get blasted, and I shoot back, and, I'm dead. So that's fun. But the police said, they were like, look, guys, the U.S. Marshals ride these trains because they're, federal trains. It's the federal land. He goes, if for some reason, while you guys are chasing this guy, if someone comes up these steps and sees it, they're going to draw their weapon on you. Just freeze and drop to the ground. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I was like, if we're chasing this guy, and it wasn't really so much me because I had FBI gear on, but my co-actor, he was just in plain clothes in his suit. So imagine you're a U.S. Marshal. You're walking up these steps and you see a guy chasing another guy with a gun drawn that has nothing. Like, what do you that could seriously happen. So I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool. So they flew us to India, and they built a set to replicate 30th Street Station. And then we chase the guy in, and we do the scene, and I pull out my gun, and I tell him to freeze, and he turns around with the little detonator and blows it up, and I get blown back. So, man, you want to spend 12 hours in the jungle covered in fake blood is not the best of times, because the bugs come, the gnats come.
They had some nice mosquitoes.
Yeah,
in
some
India.
really nice mosquitoes. And, I was like, okay, cool, we're going to break for lunch. This would be nice. I could wipe everything off. They're like, no, we need to keep that on you for continuity purposes. I'm like, oh, beautiful. So I'll just be covered in this for the next 12 hours. So. Yeah, there's some fun stuff. So that was a fun 12 days.
Hank is laughing. He's been on enough sets to
you get it, huh, Hank? Our producer over there, Hank's having a real good time. So another good one is when I was on Westworld, painted head to toe in red and then covered in like a silicone type of shiny material. 16 hours.
Your skin is breathing nicely, huh?
Oh, yeah. It was a great time, man. 16 hours on set, covered in everything. I was just like, oh, man, this is great. This is great. So if you guys want to be actors, just remember, it's not all fun and games. It's not. It's very boring when you're working on set. It's very long, slow days. And you know that just from making the videos here, you know?
I yelled at Hank plenty of times.
Oh, yeah. What's taking so long? What, do you want to write, or do you want to, or do you want to looking like junk? So it was long days, and it's a lot of sitting around, and then it's go, and then it's sit, and it's go, and it's sit. And it's like, all right, this is fun. Yeah. So keep that in mind, all you young actors out there. So
I'll stick to jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And TACFIT.
That's where I'm at these days. I'm like, this is much better, man. This is much better than hanging out. But I still do some acting. It's still fun. I enjoy it. Some commercials here and there. It helps.
Yeah, they got you. They got you. You come in looking like they have you dressed up like a dad or like a.
Yeah. Me, a dad. Imagine that. It's crazy talk.
Man. So where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram, Fireburn Bob. I'm also on, Facebook, legacy.com. You could always find me at legacybjj.com. You could find me at TACFIT LA. Yeah. So if anybody's out there and they want to come check out what the TACFIT
certification,
is all about,
right? Too.
Yeah. Come check it out. You'll be surprised at how better you can feel just by introducing new movement to yourself. And that's all. It's great stuff, man. Even like we have a new girl, Michelle, and again, she's a little bit older and she's feeling the results.
She's writing a blog, the diary of a TACFIT newbie. Yeah,
the selfish zone, right?
The selfish zone, but it's part of, we put it on the TACFIT.com.
Nice. So check that out, and you can see her experience of going through the system as well. So,
thanks, brother.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Anytime, man. Anytime. It was fun. Let's do another one.
Yep.